Welcome to Mennonitefarmhouse. I'm Leanne, and today we are continuing our series on Thanksgiving prep and things that you can make ahead and what I make in my kitchen for the holidays, especially for Thanksgiving. And today we are going to make bread for stuffing. Naturally, you'd be surprised that I haven't started making Thanksgiving meals until a few years ago, just because my mother-in-law insisted we go out to eat at a buffet on Thanksgiving, so no one would have to do dishes. And well, I don't know how I started making Thanksgiving, but I ended up making stuffing for the first time a few years ago, and Heather from the Kneadyhomesteader inspired me to make her recipe for stuffing bread, and I've been making it ever since. So I'm going to show you how she does it and how I do it. We're going to dehydrate it, and then we'll have it on hand for when we go to make stuffing, and I'll show you how to make stuffing. This recipe makes 2 loaves. So for our families that might have 10 people, I just use 1 loaf to make the stuffing. If you use this recipe to make breadcrumbs from, all the herbs and spices and the garlic and the onions will take your food to a whole new level. I use it in chicken patty sandwiches that I make in the air fryer, and they are so flavorful. Well, let's stop gabbing and let's get to work. To make this bread, you will need 2 cups of warm water, temperature being between 100 and 110 degrees. And if you can stick your finger in it comfortably and for 10 seconds, it's probably warm enough. But if you can't for 10 seconds, then you'll kill your yeast. You'll need 2 tablespoons of instant yeast, a 1/4 cup of sugar, 4 to 5 cups of bread flour, a cup of cornmeal, 1/4 cup of milk powder, a cup of whole wheat flour, 6 tablespoons of softened butter, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning, a teaspoon of granulated onion, a teaspoon of granulated garlic, a teaspoon of salt and black pepper, 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. Most bread recipes will have you start with your warm water and your yeast. And if you're using dry active or instant yeast, you do not have to let it sit for 5 minutes. So on that note, we're going to add the sugar, the cornmeal, the whole wheat flour, milk powder, and I never say never. I like to tap my eggs into a separate bowl just to prevent eggshells like that from going in my food. All right, 6 tablespoons of butter would be probably that. I'll leave the rest out for tonight's supper. I think I'm going to make ribeyes with baked potatoes and salad because we still have lettuce coming out of our garden. And I feel so blessed since we had a hard freeze a couple nights in a row last week. All right, we're going to put all but 1 cup of flour in here. And I'm going to eyeball it, but all right, the garlic, onion, salt, pepper, poultry seasoning, and the parsley. And if you use a box like me, you could easily double this recipe. Just gonna pulse it a couple times. Definitely needs more flour. All right. You want to scrape the sides. I think we're going to add another 1/4 cup because that looks pretty wet of bread flour. The amount of flour you add to a recipe just depends on your humidity and time of day. I don't know. But what you're looking for is it to pull away from the sides there. That's when you want to start putting a timer on for it to knead. Alright, we're going to put just a little bit more in. Clean around the edge of the bowl. That's when you know you've added exactly enough flour. So now we're going to knead this for 7 minutes on high on a Bosch. But if you have a KitchenAid, never put it above 2 or you'll ruin your warranty on your machine. And make sure your counter is clean before you put your food out on the counter. So you just want to knead it a couple times to get it in that nice ball shape. You just pull it in. And it's so soft. Oh my. That's good. You don't want to start out putting too much flour in your dough because you can't take it out and you don't want bricks. Now, if we had smell-o-vision, it smells wonderful already. All right. Now I'm going to show you what I do from time to time. This is my Instant Pot insert. Just spray it with your oil. Spray it with your top. Then put it in our Instant Pot and put it on low on the yogurt setting. Because on my machine, it'll automatically tell you what the temperature is, and it's 91 degrees. So that's perfect for rising bread. So I have it on yogurt and low and for an hour. So it'll automatically tell you how many minutes you have left. And you want to put a lid on it, a glass lid preferably, and we'll be back. Okay, it's been an hour and a half because I was stuck at the barn waiting on the employees to feed the calves because I wanted fresh milk to come home with me. All right. Alright, now we need to divide it in two. I had my bench knife there. There we go. I'm going to shape it into a loaf. I'm going to deflate it. You're going to spray your pan. Alright, and you just want to roll it up. And we're just gonna let it rise another 30 minutes. Pinch your seam shut. Alright, and we're gonna tuck it into bed, say nighty night. I'm just gonna use a tea towel to cover them up, and we're gonna set a timer for 30 minutes. And we'll be back when they're ready for the oven. Alright, I'm trying to get my bread in the oven, and you want to, if you want slashes in there so the bread will rise, you just, so you want to put the bread in 30 to 35 minutes depending on your oven. This one is not as tall yet. Maybe I didn't know how to divide it without weighing it. Alright, putting them in the oven. Alright, when the bread comes out of the oven, you want to let it sit for 5 minutes to cool. Then you want to take them out of the pans. The steam will make the bread soggy if you continue to leave the bread in the pans. This bread makes wonderful turkey sandwiches, and slab on that cranberry relish that I just showed you to make, and slab of cheese, and you're good to go. Well, thanks for stopping by the farmhouse today. I appreciate you visiting me, and stop back and see me some more anytime you feel like having some fellowship. God bless and have a great week, folks.